Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 121. This is discussing episode 9 to 14. Once again, 6 episodes. Now, the names of these 6 episodes are, get this, Cup Noodles, Dangerous Game. Actually, wait, hold on. It's, 9 is basically Muddy Love, 10 is Cup Noodles, 11 is Dangerous Game, 12 is Hellbound Bus, 13 is Maze of Love, and 14 is Bazooka Love. 13 and 14 is a two-parter, which I'll get to this one. First, let's talk about episode 9. Yeah, Ritio, where basically his childhood friend comes to visit, and basically he sees, and she's wearing she's, into fashion now, even though he didn't like that about her. This whole episode is about fashion. And normally, what's the usual trope when it comes to anything related to fashion in fiction? Women! They love fashion. For some reason, they get this to trend for some reason. I have no idea why. Yeah, so his monster is a fashion dimension, aka a freaking sewing machine that he converted to be his spider. And people wear these various weird looking attires. So there's pirates, ninjas. I'm like, what the heck is this? And it's by far the weirdest episode of this whole thing. And at one point, Sakito, who is Ritio's his childhood friend, who he actually kind of likes, basically at one point is brainwashed that he's able to basically do something that she knows that he did when they were kids. And it confronts her back, and and then of course the end of the episode has him sending her off the train, basically back normal, just like a dandelion, whatever. And it's like, oh, in case you're wondering, is she going to come back? Yes. From what I read, she's not come back into the final episode. She's absent from the rest of this thing. Of course, there's a reason for that, because she's off the countryside. Well, that was episode 9 for you. That was all about him. Episode 10, which is the Cup of Noodles one. This is basically Anko episode. Basically, one of her classmates who is obsessed with noodles. By the way, this is another episode where Tran basically just has a monster. Again. Yes, he basically, 2 episodes in a row, basically, you have him basically using a monster. And pretty much in a way, he is the one who produces the most monsters. He produces about 3. Maria, he produces about 1 monster in this batch. And Gray. Yes, Gray sets out his very first monster, a vending machine. Yes, in the case of episode 11, where and the whole thing with noodles is like, oh, let's have the noodles basically trying to eat people. It's a weird. At one point, Kari's when Monsters and Giant Sides form, and apparently also in this episode, Ritio goes nuts with noodles. So it's like, quick, he's giant size. Some jet machines right away, and of course, combine fun mega switches to kill it right away. But the cup of noodles basically gets one of the Zords gets trapped in a giant cup of noodles in Anko. Gets trapped in a cup of noodles. I thought it was kind of funny. Very weird episode, but really fun nonetheless. 11, basically now Gray, he's a robot. He only produces 3 monsters. You're thinking, 3? Yeah, 3. And it seems as though, after Ranjin gets defeated with episode 6, he doesn't do anything for monster-wise. It's episode 29. Yeah. It's basically all Tran and Maria putting all the monsters, and Maria stops at a certain point. Yep. And unlike the fashion one, basically, where that's there for 1 episode. Yeah. So basically, with episode 11, it's called Dangerous Game. This one. It's all about switching personalities. It's an odd episode. You could think of it as a filler because it doesn't really advance much anything. And here's the thing: his next monster that he has doesn't show up in episode 26. With the very next episode, back to Tran again. And this time he uses basically a murder mystery episode where most of the episode it's just Corey and Rito going to a countryside thing, and all of a sudden during the bus ride, people start getting murdered, including the bus driver himself, who turns out to be an actual escaped bank robber. Which the old man in the bus, who turns out he's a basically soon to be retired police officer within the rest, but he gets killed anyways. They go, "Who's the murderer?" The bus. Yes, the bus itself is the murderer. Which, okay. And the whole thing is said here, like, oh, yeah, your content, not just yet. And they show at the very end, and of course, they had to go to Rito's village, and that's it. Really fun episode 12. But in the case of 13, 14, it's a two-parter, another two-parter. And in case you're curious, though, is there any two-parters after this two-parter? I think it's not until 40 and 41 when they have another two-parter, because it seems like they'll, like, this one does introduce the fire bazooka, which simply their new weapon they have, aside from using the bird blasters. So this one starts off with basically celebrating Ryu's birthday. And this, I think, is an error on the part of them, because when Rito's grandmother showed up, she said he was 27. Here, for some reason, not sure why, they say he turned 26. Which, okay, and then of course she knits him like a scarf, and he doesn't say anything, or she runs away, and then of course he goes after her, and at one point he tries to kiss her, she's like, no, he just slaps her across the face. She's probably seen that first kiss for Ryu, and he's like, what do you love him for? And of course the camera monster shows up. By the way, this camera monster's been snapping random people. First a model, we also have a tennis player, a newlywed couple. Yes, a newlywed couple gets snapped to this thing. Even a freaking waitress. And eventually Anko is caught up. Not Anko. Basically, first is Corey, and Anko, Martori, and then finally Guy gets caught up, and then eventually Ryu's there free, but thinks he used a new fire bazooka, ends up destroying the lens. And then they use the bazooka itself in episode 14. And then after the monster's defeated, basically Corey just walks up to Ryu and confesses her love for him. He doesn't say anything, and of course Guy just gets on his motorcycle and beats him up basically for having it where the girl he's in love with confesses her love for a different guy. Which he still, from it showed this two-parter, he's still not gotten over the death of his previous girlfriend. That's probably the reason why he didn't say anything. But I'm sure he probably does accept her feelings. He probably doesn't want to hurt her per se, but yeah, basically she openly admits that she loves him. And he doesn't say anything at all. He just basically I think he just smiles at it. Anko is like so happy that she finally did it. Rito has this thing where basically if anybody hurts it, it basically makes him angry. Now, from what I can tell, these two are just friends, just really good friends. They're not basically lovey-dovey. They're just friends. Yep. But that's pretty much the episodes in a nutshell. Like, I don't mind this two-parter per se. It's fine. But here's the weird thing about this. Like, the next time we have a two-parter is not for quite a while. Yeah. It's not until basically episode 17. So a little while. Not much longer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say about 3 episodes after this one, basically, we have another two-parter. Mm-hmm. And probably not again for quite a while. Yep. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for Cycle of You. Next one's going to be My Hero Academia, and then a Comic Corner. Okay, next video. Bye.